How's everyone doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Oh, I was just on the phone with one of my clients, doing okay. It is 10 o'clock. Good
Yeah.
morning, Andrea.
Hi, Felicia. I'm driving.
No worries. Drive safe. Um, all right, so welcome to Wednesday, November 26th, the last call of the month. And tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Hope everyone is going to have a great holiday. And today I wanted to ask, and Andrea, I'm going to kind of piggyback on you right now. What is working well, and what do you need a little help with?
Well, to be honest, I'm just getting started.
Uh-huh.
Um, Dad finally had his fifth surgery and he's doing well. He's driving for the first time. This week he went to appointment. He's going to a second appointment today. So,
Well,
um,
that's great news.
I need to sit down. Basically, I've got to start over.
And just regroup and reorganize everything.
Right. And yeah, because I haven't even been to a senior initiative meeting. I can't tell you when last year. So yeah, so I over this past year I've just been absorbing, taking notes of where my notes are
Yeah.
and I
But
gotta
and
start
here's the
reaching.
thing is when you kind of regroup, reset, and then get that started, right? You're gonna push. This is actually a really good time of year to do that. And the best course of initiative for people is to number one, figure out what your territory is, right? So when you're starting or rebooting, I would, if I were you, I would say, okay, where's my radius that my clients are in? And I draw a circle around that radius, and I would figure out all the senior living communities within that radius. I would figure out what their price points are, right? What are
Right.
they servicing? Is it IL, AL, memory care, skilled? And I would focus on the communities that are luxury, higher end communities for you, right? IL, AL is where I would live, and I would focus on those communities. And if they all have, if they have a continuum of care, that's great too. But I would focus on those as my first step of initiative. Go on tours of those communities, get to know those sales directors, ask them who they partner with as far as home care, home health, senior move management, senior placement. And within that, that is how I would build out my board of directors.
Now, so I have a lot of that before. I've been in it since 2023,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also at the same time trying to do real estate because I'm a new agent. Well, I've had it my license since 2022, but again, everything's been on hold. So I need to sit down and have a daily schedule. And how do I incorporate everything in? When, what, how?
So
And
what you
my,
yeah. So what you
my
have to understand,
ADD, yeah, ADD is going crazy right now, overwhelmed.
you just have to just focus. And what you have to focus on is, yes, you have a list from 2023. Are those people still in business? Are they the same people that are still there? The
Right.
50-50 shot, right? And you need to
Mhm.
take that list, break it down, and then from there, expand. So when what people are missing the opportunity for is these communities hold the keys for your business, for your referrals. If
Hmm.
they're moving in 5 to 8 people a month, why are you not having the opportunity to sell their home?
Correct. Right.
So this is where we get wrapped up, and you're not the only one, because trust me, I understand. You get wrapped up in, I have to build these relationships. I have to build these. No, you have to get the referral. And by getting that referral, you're building the relationship and that partnership. It is not about, in my experience, it is not about, should I volunteer? Should I do events? No, it's getting to the referral is your goal. And right now, during the holidays, this is the time of year where those referrals should be coming in fast and furious because people are coming into senior living. This is the time of year that families take a look at their loved ones, see how much poor shape they're in, and they are going to start making some hard decisions within their lives. So you have to take
Correct. Yeah.
advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah. As we speak, I'm getting ready to serve a Thanksgiving meal to seniors. I'm on my way
Mm-hmm.
now for one of my senior placement. Her senior placement is nonprofit. Everything that she gets from the community, she buys meals for seniors because apparently Meals on Wheels doesn't serve anything.
Meals on Wheels is very limited. People don't realize
Hmm.
that. It is very limited, even in our area. And when I was up north, it's very limited.
Yeah, she could only do 75 this year, and she said she turned away hundreds. Sad.
Yeah. Now the thing is you have to focus on the business. All of that is fabulous, but everything that I do, I attach an ROI to it. Because what happens is we are all giving. A lot of folks who are working in real estate are women, so we're nurturing as a as just, our well-being and who we are. But if your calendar is filled up with volunteering, which you have to do a certain amount of volunteering per any business, right? But if your calendar is filled up with that, how are you going to feed your family? And what I mean feed your family, I mean put food on the table, go to the store and buy that food. So there's a fine line in between that. And I only say that as something I just want to, just as a reminder, because if you've listened to calls before, you've heard Paul tell you what my issue was about 4 years ago. And I was the volunteer queen. I put on huge events for the Alzheimer's Association. I put on 500 people walks for the Parkinson's Association, and I was the president of Naples Interagency. So my calendar on a weekly basis consisted of 50-50 of volunteer work and doing all of the marketing for these events and graphic design, as well as organizing all of the meetings and taking meeting notes. That didn't bring me any business. I was frustrated. And I'm sharing this with you because it's real life experience. Now, if you are doing 50, 60 transactions a year and you want to make sure you're giving back to the community to elevate your philanthropy, by all means, that's amazing. But the part that I'm trying to say to you is don't get excited over the shiny penny of it's that time of year that we have to go out and volunteer. Because what you do today affects you 90 days from now. So I just want to put that word of caution out to everyone because we're building businesses for referrals. Because and you could write that, y'all could write this in the chat. What is your main goal right now? Is your main goal to get listings and sell real estate? Is your main goal to host events and get awareness out? Or is your main goal to volunteer at communities? I'd like to see some stuff in the chat. Don't be shy. I'll wait till the chat's filled up. We have several people on the call. We could sing some music while we wait. Do, 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 do,
Yeah,
do,
and I've been doing all three, especially with the NIPC and conference here next year.
a
Yeah,
lot
that
going
takes a
on.
lot of time.
Takes a lot of time. But here's the thing that we have to worry, like you have to make sure your calendar is blocked. I time block. Y'all know I time block. What I get down in my hour time block for my Naples interagency, if it's not finished by then, done. I go to my committee and say, hey guys, this is what I was able to do. Who else can pick up the torch and run with it? That's it. We don't work till 11 o'clock at night, trying to make sure that we get all the things done for the volunteer efforts that we have. And I'm telling you this because I've been there and I've done that. So right now, we have to, and Geraldine, I completely understand. She says to do community talks and sell some real estate to make money. With my husband's passing, I picked up a $2,000 a month bill for our HOA. So focusing on what to do most in developing community talks has run concurrently. Yes. In the end, if you are hosting your events properly and doing the follow up with them properly on a drip campaign, you will get business. It might be right away. You might get a listing right away appointment to go and help someone, or it's going to take some time. But at the end of the day, we all got to make money in order to feed our passion with serving seniors. And so I was talking to Lisa to Andrea. I was just looking at a text on what if I were starting out today, what would I do right now this day to help me build my business? So number one, I would go take a radius of what my market is, see how many senior livings within that radius for where I work. I would figure out what all their price points are, focus on IL and AL, go to those communities, and I'd ask them who they partner with for senior placement, senior move management, home care, home health, and any other partners that they bring in. Because those are the people who I'd want to get on my board. I would want to make that so tight knit because right now, one of our members was stating that her price point has dropped low into the 100s and 200s thousands. But if you're focusing on higher end communities right now, you're going to focus on getting those higher end listings. They come hand in hand. A home that's valued at 400,000 isn't going to go to assisted living that's valued at $8, $9, $10,000 a month. It's just together. So if I were you, that is what I would do. And then I would partner with them, with their partners that they have, on how we can do a community event to bring outside people in so that they can get off the bench of should I move? Should I stay? Should I go? What should I do? I also would offer to go on home visits with them because majority of the time, the person who wants to move in is worried about selling their homes and all the things, but they haven't brought that up to senior living community yet. So they are so overwhelmed that they don't know where to start. But if you go on a home visit with them and you ease their mind and how all of this can be taken care of for them, it helps get them off the bench and move them in. And I do that a lot for a lot of communities in my area because I help close that deal. Because that's the last piece that they're worried about. It's like, yeah. Tomorrow, if I could close my eyes and be like I Dream a Genie, I would love to move into senior living tomorrow. but I'm so worried about what to do with my stuff and the things that I don't know how to do it. So this is really basic, but that is where I would start because the communities right now are going to get flooded with people coming in from the holidays. So you got to build those relationships so that you get the listings which you could sell to make money. Because last I knew, we all need to have some income, which is really important. And once you start getting that income, then you could build on community talks. And community talks should be when you're talking about seminars and lunch, they all cost money. We all know that. You have partners on how to do that. But you should be doing at least 3 a quarter. One of them has to be about real estate. And the other piece of this pie is a couple of you have asked about how to start a downsizing club. Well, you're in luck because on Thursday, December 4th, I will be hosting a how to start a downsizing club. Not going into Chat GPT and typing in how to start a downsizing club. Actually, I own Downsizing Club of Florida, how to start a downsizing club from start to finish. What you should be doing in order to make it a feeder for you and your partners, and then how you could make some income on this and how you can leverage the downsizing club for your clients. Would that sound like fun for you all? Would you like that? Would that be helpful?
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, so I'm going to be hosting that for our members. Um, that will be, I believe it's at noon, if I remember correctly. I'm just checking the calendar because I think that is a piece to the puzzle that's missing. And it can be another lead source for you, but it also can be an income generator for you. So it solves a couple of different problems for everyone. And we could talk about how to structure that out. I think that would be really, really helpful. We've been dancing around this for quite some time now. And now we want to make sure that you have the tools to effectively go out and do that and structure out your new year for how your new year calendar is going to look.
Felicia, noon Central, noon Eastern,
Eastern time. So it would be 11 o'clock
11
your
o'clock my
time.
time.
Yep. And then it would be 9 a.m. East, Pacific time. Not
An
specific.
hour, a couple hours?
It's only an hour.
An hour, okay.
Yep. Because we're going to do a half-hour class and then Q&A after. I think it's
Okay.
really important for you all to have a chance to digest it. Okay, now we just talked about XYZ for a half hour. Now we're going to go in some Q&A and make sure you have some tangible strategic takeaways.
Will you also have like a handout we can have access to later afterwards?
You know, I probably should do a nice checklist for you. So that's a great point.
I was a corporate trainer, so
I like that. Handouts are really, really helpful for people. So I love it.
they
And I love
are.
the handout.
They are.
And there's a lot of inexpensive ways that you can get this started. So we're going to talk about that. So we're going to talk about like the inexpensive ways and then kind of like how you can turn that up. But you got to start somewhere. And it's a great opportunity for you to get another stream of info.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Andrea, have a great holiday. Thanks for popping in this morning. And so does anyone else have anything that is they're struggling with right now that we can just help you out with? Any success stories that have happened? So So I'm going to tell you all something that I'm struggling with. Um, One of my clients just informed me that her cancer is back, and it is a hot property, and people want to come take a look at it. And they are not in a position to have folks come and show that property right now. And I'm struggling because I know that this seller would be better off moving into senior living, but they're so overwhelmed with their current diagnosis that we have to take a step back and be patient
You
right
do.
now. And you have to just give them breathing time. We're keeping the house on the market. We're not taking it off. But right now, we have a holiday tomorrow. So I'm going to go drop some stuff off at the seller's house today for food. Because if they can't get off the sofa right now, type of a deal, or out of bed, got to make sure that they are eating. And we switched gears from being that real estate agent into the nurturer for them because this seller is all alone and has no family nearby.
So how do you keep it on the market when really you can't do any showings?
So I just block off on our system that we have. I just block off that there's no showings at this week right now. And so because if we start doing the withdrawn back on the market, active,
Yeah,
withdrawn,
I wouldn't do that.
start putting some red flags out there, like what's wrong with this property.
Right.
So we're just better off blocking out time. Like we're blocking off the rest of the week till Friday and then seeing if we could get a block of showings on Saturday. So the conversation that we had actually this morning was let's not let's not make it really more stressful. So if we could get 2 or 3 showings back to back on a Saturday, even overlapping, and they only had to leave their house for 2 hours, well, I would go over and take her for a ride somewhere, right? We'd go out for pizza, right? We'd go out somewhere. I'd take her to the beach and we would go and have, a lunch on the beach by us because that is going to be a lot more feasible than we have a showing at 10 o'clock. We have one at 12. We have one at 3. That's not going to help. So
That's
what
not
we
cool.
do is you have the ability to, unfortunately, and I hate to use this word, kind of force people into where the showing should be. And so I always allow overlapping, unlimited on any of my showings, because if my seniors are out of the house, let's stack them in. Let's create that excitement. Like, oh, there's 3 people looking at this house. It must be a hot property. I want it, right? Psychology. So if we do that and we schedule it for them, it does help. Now, in this case, I don't do this that often, but in this case, I am going to just let them know for seller reasons. There's no showings for the holiday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday is just a few days away. Can they wait? And then I'll
Does
see
she
what
have to
else
sell the house right now?
I'm sorry.
Does she have to sell the house right now?
They want to move into senior living.
Okay.
They had a room on hold, and it actually would, there's pros and cons to everything. If you're not feeling well and you have friends that are helping you, right? But if you were in a senior living community, you wouldn't have to worry about your laundry. You wouldn't have to
Right.
worry about your food preparation, right? They could bring you food to your room if you're not feeling well. And then if you have to go somewhere, you have someone that can help you with transportation. So there's
Will
a
the senior
pro.
living community, I'm sorry. Go
No, it's
ahead.
okay. There's pros and cons to that, you know.
Will the senior living community take her with that diagnosis? Or is she
This
going
is
to
a
need to
reoccurring
independent?
diagnosis, so they're already aware of it. Yeah, and they would. And it
Okay.
should be let's help type of a thing. And if they don't, then that's not the right community, you know. But this is where we just have to kind of switch those gears and it's not, how do I say, it's not like they're not going to sell the house. The house is too much for them to handle. So you
Mhm.
got to balance that with them and do that little dance on how you can help. But today I'm going to stop over, make sure, going to check her food situation out, right? Make sure there's food there. And they told me that there is food coming from neighbors, but like I'm going to bring a small little apple pie over, those types of things. Make sure that there's like a little food if there's a store by us that sells like homemade pre-packed dinners. So I'm going to go grab a couple of things and bring them over. But and thanks, Donna, for that. That's important. We have to try and help our clients through this because when you work in this vulnerable population, things like this are going to happen. This year alone, I've lost 2 clients that have passed away while their home's for sale. So you just have to kind of balance that out. So I've been struggling with that because everyone wants to go see the house either yesterday or today. So I'm looking at it going, oh my goodness, the house was on the market last week and we didn't get one showing. So what is going on?
People are on vacation. That's what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
They took the week off.
Yep.
Real quickly, because because lately I've been uh confusing terms. Could you run back down uh the independent living, assisted living, etc. Because I think that not, as I recall, and it's just quicker for you to just run it back down. Every facility, every community is not independent living into assisted living into um,
Mm-hmm.
SNF, okay, skilled nursing. So could you run that back down again for a minute?
Sure. So independent living is like 55 and over, easiest way to put it. Um, you have apartments. They provide sometimes 1 or 2 meals a day. Sometimes they provide some housekeeping and laundry services. Every place is a little different, but there is no hands-on health care. They can do a wellness check on you every day, but if you fall, the ambulance has to come. They're not allowed to lay hands on you because they're not licensed by any state regulatory system. Assisted living provides all of your meals, can do all of your care for your ADLs. Um, and they are licensed by the state. They have surveys, sometimes they're biannual um, or every 2 years, once a year, depends on your state. Memory care is always a subsidiary of assisted living. It's under assisted living license. It's just a locked unit for security for those who are suffering with Alzheimer's and dementias who need more hands-on care. Once you get over a 2-person assist, which means 2 people to help you stand up and get out of bed, pivot and get into a wheelchair or take a shower, whatever the case may be, a transfer, then you need to go to long-term care, which is part of skilled nursing facilities. And they are held at a much higher standard, and it's typically folks who are bedbound. Now, you could have a continuum of care with all of those on there so that you can go from one place to another. But as you go through your continuum of care, the cost is going to go up.
And I think that's where I'm mixing of communities because where my husband was he was in skilled nursing, but it has to be a continuing care community because they start with independent, they provide
Oh, yeah.
assisted. But there are places that only do assisted living is what I'm hearing from you. Okay,
Yep.
that's what
So
I'm
there's
looking for.
there's standalone skilled nursing, there's standalone memory care, standalone assisted, and
Okay.
standalone independent living. Now, if I have a client who comes to me and says, hey, I'd love to move into independent living, I want to go to XYZ community here. And I check with them and I ask them, what's going on with them, with their health. They told me that they just got diagnosed with MCI, mild cognitive impairment. I kind of opened their eyes up a little bit to say, you might have to move again. That could be 2 years down the road, right? Because you might need some care. And we want to make this kind of as simple as possible for you to move. We don't want them to move every single year or every time they have a cognitive ability change. So
Right.
you have to help people with that. Now, if you're not comfortable with it, that's where you lean on senior placement to help with that. And you help because your job is to get the home sold. So I always say stay in the lane that you're comfortable in, stay in that driving lane, and then bring in professionals that can help. And as I was learning years ago, I sat in on all those meetings so I could hear what they're saying, have an understanding of it. So that's where your
So
opportunity
if
as you're
so,
learning.
so with that person with the mild cognitive impairment, you know that there's gonna be declines, and sometimes those declines are gradual, and sometimes they're rapid, like overnight.
Yes.
So you would then want to refer them to assisted living initially.
No, I would like to refer them somewhere. I would like them to be open to moving to somewhere that had independent and assisted on the same campus.
Okay.
Something that's not a standalone, something that they would be able to say, okay, I'm doing great and I'm here. But maybe a couple of years down the road, I need a little bit more care. Instead of like having to do the search all over again, find something that's going to take that continuum of care for them and make it easier.
Got it.
And when they push back, that's when I was like, have you ever heard of these people that help you go through all of this? Because, like, I'm here to help you with the home, declutter it, get it staged, and get it sold. But I have a person on my team that can help hold your hand the entire time, bounce ideas back, maybe bring up a new community that we haven't even thought of, and help you through this process. Would you be open to have them help you? And it doesn't cost you anything. And they're like, oh, I never heard of anybody like that. Well, now we have a referral, like Paul says, you got that referral to call that partner with to help make it smoother for them.
Thank you.
Does that help? Okay, perfect.
A
Well,
lot, yes.
I am so excited. Tomorrow is the holiday. It's also um, my dad's birthday. It's like a big day. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I'm grateful for all of you being here and letting me share things that I'm so passionate about because this is something that I've been doing for a long time. And I love helping people. I do love volunteering. Shh, don't tell Paul. But I love being able to help my clients make sometimes some of the biggest decisions that they have in their life and really make a difference for them. And so I'm grateful that all of you want to take that torch up and help people in your area as well. I think it's so important. And thank you to everyone who has filled out the referral form because we are using that for when we have clients who are moving all over this great nation. And so we want to make sure that if they're moving to Chicago, I'm calling Geraldine because I know that's where she lives, right? And
It
I know
is.
she's going to be passionate about serving them just like I am. And it's a great way for us to be able to serve our clients at a higher level right now. So thank you to everyone who is wanting and is working with seniors in your area. It means a lot. So I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you, Donna.
You too. And
Yeah.
thank you, Felicia, for being so openly sharing and so patient with us as
Oh,
we muddle through getting our businesses up and
we'll do it.
heading
I
down this
know it.
direction.
Yeah, we're all moving forward in a really great way right now, but now's the time to turn it up and we're going to give you the tools to do it. So have a great day, okay?
You
And
too as well.
remember,
You
you
as
can
well. And
email
happy
me.
birthday to your dad.
Thanks. And I hope you all know that you could always email me go right through or DM me on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll be happy to help you with any problems or any, inquiries that you have right away. Any pressing
Thank
issues.
you. Happy
All right.
Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Bye.